to FantasyCon. This is not FantasyCon, this room. But we're gonna have just as much fun today, minus the dragon.
This is FantasyCon of the mind.
Yes.
Imagine it's all here.
It's all here. So thank you so much for coming, and happy Saturday morning. I see a lot of smiling faces and I see a lot of grumpy faces. I like smiles, and we'll talk a little bit about smiles in a little bit. I take smiles very seriously, so you guys will learn that a lot. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through kind of like a speed orientation, speed training, because we're here at the Salt Palace, and there's a lot more of you guys that were here that said you're going to be here, so great, we're excited. Has everybody in this room signed up to be a volunteer yet? Has anybody needs to sign up to be a volunteer?
How many of you guys have received emails from a guy named Murphy?
You need to stand up if you're going to be
You received an email from me.
All right, so if you need to sign up to be a volunteer, make sure you talk to Murphy before you leave today. And we've had so many people in the last 48 hours sign up to be a volunteer, which is great, that we're going to have to do one more last minute volunteer orientation, which is Wednesday the 25th. So if you guys still know somebody and they're like, oh, I really want to do it, but I've missed all the orientations, after the 25th, no more volunteers. We just can't. We've got to make sure that everybody knows what they need to do. I would rather have 100 very well-trained volunteers than 5,000 untrained volunteers. So, but we will still take them up to the 25th. They can even just walk into the door that night at Charlie Square and say, I want to volunteer, and we'll train them and we'll teach them and we'll get them on the list. So make sure, we'll send out an email about that as well. Alex, where's Alex? He's hiding. This is Alex, everybody. I want you guys to give him a round of applause. We had a team lead meeting on Thursday, which we do every Thursday, and we listened to a couple people's feedback that communication is a little hard here at FantasyCon, and sometimes it's a little confusing, and we all agreed, and so he left that meeting and stayed up all night and put together a volunteer webpage, which is awesome. So you can still do the Facebook interaction, but we noticed that a lot of people don't use Facebook like that, and a lot of people don't read their emails every day like me. We would ask you, though, in the next 2 weeks to check your email at least twice a week. We're going to be sending you guys a lot of very important information. But Alex, he set that webpage up. We're going to post it around as much as we can so people know about it. We're going to send it out in emails. If you want to write down where it is today before you leave, because you're not on your computer very often, make sure you find Alex after the training and he can help you out with that. We are always up for your guys' suggestions, and we want to be better. This is our first year, and we have a huge talented team behind me and a few people that are sprinkled out there because they're not coming up here, like Sarah needs to come stand up here, and Yen needs to come stand up here, and Franz needs to come stand up here, and Bob needs to come stand up here.
Up front, yeah.
So just a lot of really fantastic people that are trying to make your experience, not just the fans that are coming, but your experience a good one. So I'm going to introduce who everybody is. They're going to talk for a second about who they are, what they do, what team they're on, and you guys are going to go click, oh, I go with that person. So we're going to start. If you guys will just kind of line up.
It's an execution, guys.
Yeah. Give the straight outside. Yeah, I'm going to shut those doors, turn down the lights. I'm just kidding. All right. So really quick, before they go, my name is Valerie. If you don't already know me yet, you will all get to know me very well. I am the event coordinator. I am also pinpointing volunteers, security, the red party, the charity event, and then have my hands kind of in everybody's business, I think, and they don't like it very often, but it is kind of there. So that's me. We're going to start over on this end over here. Yeah, that's you.
Hi, I'm James. I'm with celebrities. I'm order autographs, so I will be taking care of that.
Make sure you talk really, really loud.
I am James. I am on Celebrity Autographs.
Hi, James.
Hello.
Wow.
Am I loud enough?
Yeah, that's great.
Really long day.
Okay.
Can everybody hear me okay? All right, cool. My name is Jared Foley. I am one of the oracles. I am over all of the celebrity handling as well as the photo op areas, so I'm their bosses. If you're on my team, that's me. I'm Jared, so nice to meet you all. I'll share real quickly my story, why I'm here. I met Josh a couple months ago, and I had a job that's one of those jobs that's... Everybody, Dan McBride. Dan Larson. It's like 5 Ashes and 5 Dans here. No, I met Josh a couple months ago, and I have one of these jobs at the time where it's a cool job. It's not a dead-end job that everybody hates. I had a job I loved. I was a radio DJ. I did promotions and marketing for some radio stations here in the area. And after I met Josh, I was like, I don't care. I gotta be a part of this. I saw the vision. I was like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and it's a gamble. It's our first time doing this event, and I said, you know what, it is worth that gamble to be a part of this, and I'm excited to be here. If you guys are volunteering, I hope you're just as excited as we are to be a part of this, because this is gonna be something that's absolutely amazing. It's never been done before, so if you're here, you guys are gonna witness some amazing history and convention history, and you're at the ground level being a part of this, so I'm excited to have it all here, so thank you.
Hi, I'm Alex. So I am the photo op team lead. I'm also Jared's assistant. So if you're in celebrity handling or photo ops, you've probably seen an email from me. Also, like Valerie said, webmaster of the volunteer website. So yeah, cool.
I'm Franz. I'm here for security. This is Bob. Bob's here for security too.
Muscles.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm Yen. I'm whatever left or the right of Valerie, what Murphy is. I'm her project coordinator. I am also her assistant, helping her run charity night and a few other things. And I'm also on Dan Larson's team for Realms. And we've been up all night, so we're completely brain dead, trying to finish the manual for all of you. So I should be.
Hi guys. My name is Murphy. I'm Bella's other assistant. I'm also the.
Hell no!
I'm standing up. Sorry, I was too short. Okay.
You're in points for standing up. It's all right.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm the leader for the Dragon team. So if you guys are on the Dragon team, you guys get to me. I'm also the guy that has all your contact information and your emergency contact information. So if you guys have not sent that in, please come see me afterwards. So I pretty much take care of all you guys in a way, shape, and form, because all the team leads that you guys report to, they report to me. So I can report to her. So other than that, that's it.
Need me for any reason at the convention and you can't find me, find him and he will find me.
I'm going to hear a lot of this at the con.
And he'll just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah. It happens. I don't know why.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm, it's the same thing. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Murphy's Law.
Hi, everybody. How are you? How are you? All right. I'm Sean. I'm over ticketing. And I'm also over, well, actually, I got 6 different areas. There's the special guest check-in, which is not celebrity check-in.
Celebrities do not check in with
It is
regular
not celebrity check-in. It is just panelists, you know, and our special guests. Also, will call tickets, the press check-in, also the exclamation points, which will be explained here in a little bit. It's the info booths. Yeah, I kind of do a lot of things, but if you're on ticketing, if you received an email from me, meet me.
Hey guys, I'm Sarah. This is my husband Robert.
I can't hear you, Sarah.
Sorry. We're the cosplay directors
dress up. All right. Hopefully everyone will by the end of this kind of convention. So.
We just handle anything and everything to do with cosplay, so yay.
Come meet us after.
I am Patrick, and I should have. I brought my fan club. I should have stood somewhere else because I'm feeling even shorter than you. I'm like a fire hydrant next to the Chrysler Building. I am in charge of volunteer performers. So, if you're a volunteer performer, you probably know who you are, and you've probably already met me. But we're going to be working together. Cool.
I'm Ashley. I'm kind of Larry's assistant who's over panels, and he's not here right now. He will be here later. And I'm also kind of heading the parade, so if you have any parade stuff you want to talk to me about, though, yeah.
I'm parade, everybody! And we want you all in the parade!
Okay, I'm Angel. I'm also Larry's assistant over panels. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Devin. I'm with panels as well.
I'm Travis. I'm one of the Realm team leaders under Dan.
I'm Eddie Edens. I'm the stage manager, so anything that takes care of all these guys on stage, that's what I'm over.
We love it.
I'm Tony. I'm one of the rodents for the Dragon.
Back row.
She's on the Dragon team!
My name's Tony. I'm one of the rodents for the Dragon team.
I'm Alan. I'm one of the team leads for Realms.
I'm Mario DeAngelis. I'm helping with panels and the parade. Instead of helping with the parade.
Alright, Dan!
I'm Dan Larson. What I want to say is that days like these are too rare to cheapen with heavy-handed words, and so without any whatsoever, I bring to you, created not a stone's throw from this very palace, FantasyCon 2014. Who can name that movie?
So, Dan's crazy.
He only gets let out on weekends.
Yeah. Well, Dan's been up for hours. So Dan is in charge of Realms, but he's also in charge of coordinating all of the volunteers. So, like getting more.
Be coordinated.
Getting more together, helping Yen and myself and almost all these people put together a fantastic handbook that you guys will all receive via email. We will have it on the FantasyCon volunteer page so that you can download it and read it and become one with it. All of those handbooks will be in various places throughout the convention, during the convention, with other information like what the schedule is for the time in your area, what the general schedule is for everything that's going on, all of your emergency contacts, because if something happens to you, we need to be able to help you. There will also be some things that will be going on and training today will be in that handbook. So Murphy's going to be putting together those handbooks with these people. And if you ever have a volunteer question that is kind of about where do I go, what do I do, I haven't heard from somebody, it's usually going to be Dan or Murphy that you talk to about this. If you are like, hey, I know how to get us 200 more volunteers before the 25th, go talk to Dan today. And we would be really happy about that. So right now, we are about at 624 volunteers.
As of 4 o'clock this morning.
But, and that's with LARPers, right? Yes. So, however, 130 of those are from the Belagarth or LARP community, which means that their area to maintain is the arena. So it has nothing to do with any of this up here. So I still need us, this group of people, to get bigger by probably about 100 more. If we don't get there, we can still do it. We just might need a little more help. So if you're willing to help a little bit more than the minimum 8 hours that we're requiring, then let your team lead know that, hey, I can do 2 more hours here or there. I can help out. Let me know. A lot of you guys have been really great, and you're like, I'll work like 16 hours a day. I don't want you to do that.
I do.
We want to make sure that you guys get to have fun. I have volunteered at a lot of conventions. My idea of fun is running around, stressing out, putting out fires, and all of that. That's my idea of fun. That's why I'm here, okay? But that's not everybody's idea of fun. A lot of you guys have volunteered, and you can raise your hand. You volunteered because you want free tickets into the convention. You can raise your hand if that's why you volunteered. Okay? Everybody, okay? Put your hands up. How many of you guys volunteered because you love volunteering? I love volunteering. Yay. How many of you guys volunteered because you want to be a part of something that has never been done before?
How many of you guys volunteered because you were forced to?
That guy back there. So we want to make sure that, yes, you guys are helpful, you're knowledgeable, we give you all the skills that you need to be a great volunteer, a great helper for FantasyCon, but we want to make sure that you guys have fun. These are all the things that you get to be as a volunteer, and technically, once we give you these things, it makes you not a volunteer anymore, because we're actually giving you something to be a volunteer. How many of you guys have volunteered and you get just a shirt and you show up and you help out because that's what they do? I usually get a shirt, so that's a volunteer. We are actually giving you things that are worth monetary value, so it makes you actually not a volunteer anymore. 2 shirts. You only get one shirt. Wash that one shirt, okay? So everybody's gonna get a volunteer shirt. Everybody is going to get volunteer credentials that are actually pretty cool looking. Everybody's going to get 2 3-day passes that you can utilize however you want. You can use them for bribery. You can pay off debts. Whatever you need to do with the 2 3-day passes, you don't need them because you have your volunteer credentials.
Oh,
okay. So you don't need those. Okay? You guys will also be getting a volunteer bag. How many of you guys have seen the volunteer bag if you're on the Facebook page?
It's awesome.
We're going to post it also on the website. The reason why I fought really hard to get these bags is when I volunteered for another really big, cool convention in town, and I would walk around, I would see, especially around the panel room areas, you would see all of these fantastic, like, blingy purses everywhere. The volunteers, because you had nowhere to put them, right? You didn't have anywhere to put your stuff. I don't want to see blingy purses everywhere, okay? Sean, no blingy purses. But I also want you guys to feel like you can take the necessities that you need with you. So you guys are all getting a bag that you can't buy. Nobody can buy them. You only get them if you're a volunteer. And they're just a sling bag, so they're really light and easy, and you can put your water bottle in there, and you can put your banana in there, and you can put your cell phone in there. Murphy always has bananas for me in the bag. Like, I'm running, and he's like, you need to eat this, Valerie, this banana. And then I do. So that's what you're going to bring. If it doesn't fit in that bag, do not bring it inside. Leave it in your car. Because when you're done volunteering, you can go change your shirt, put your volunteer bag down if you want, grab whatever, put your costume on, and then come back in the convention. It's also for just safety. I don't want belongings. There are a lot of belongings, like, stolen at a convention. So just, you guys can all sit. I feel like you guys don't have to stay up here the whole time. You can stay up here the whole time, but you can sit. So on Monday night, June 30th. We don't have any fun at FantasyCon. Any fun. This is why our meetings take so so long? Because I hired these guys. Okay, so let me get back to the important things that I was talking about. Keep all of your expensive items not with you while you're volunteering. Okay? It's just really important because they're going to get stolen or lost or broken or misplaced or whatever, and that's not fun for anybody. Okay? So if you can fit it in the bag, put it in the bag. There's a nameplate on the bag, so when you get the bag, you can write it. Somebody has requested that we have a calligrapher on site so that it looks awesome. If somebody here has the skills and you want to fill out everybody's bags for them, great. Don't ask me to do it. I have like 6-year-old boy handwriting. It's not pretty. But those are yours. So on June 30th at 6 p.m., what date?
June 30th, 6 p.m.
At the Salt Palace, we need all of you guys on site. That's where you're going to pick up your shirts. That's where you're going to pick up your bags. 6 p.m. That's when you're going to pick up your tickets and your credentials and everything that you need to be you during FantasyCon. So make sure you come. So make sure you put that in your calendars. We'll send a few things out about it, but that's going to be the most important night before we go. If you guys want to volunteer for the charity night, have you guys all heard about charity night?
No.
Charity event. The charity event is July 2nd, Wednesday night, from 6 until 10. Okay, I need most volunteers to be on site at 5, some at 5:30. People will start arriving between 5:30 and 6. However, if you have jobs and you're like, I really, really, really want to volunteer for this, but I can't get there till 6, we will take all of you. We will take every single one of you. You can only get into the charity event if you've been invited, and I am inviting you. Okay? The only people allowed to be there are the charities, the families, press, some celebrities, and us. Okay? It's going to be a really, really cool night, and you guys will get to see the Salt Palace all set up before crazy the next day starts and you all hate me. Okay? So come that night, let your team leads know that you can volunteer for charity night, and it's just going to be really, really cool. So put that on the date as well. I'm just going to really quickly go through questions that I'm getting a lot from people. As a volunteer, the only thing that I really can't do for you, which I'm trying to do a lot for you, is I cannot get you into the E. Wood or Elijah Wood party on Wednesday night. Okay? If people have a VIP ticket, then they have the opportunity to get in, or you've got to pay to get in. But I know that I think the lowest price of the tickets is like $20, and then they go all the way up to 75 or 25. Is it 25? 25, and then they go up to 75. So awesome. Or come party with me at the charity event until 10, and then go home and get some sleep. Either way, whatever you want to do, but there's that answer for you. I'm sorry, that's just, it's not my thing, so I can't help you with that. What? The charity event will be, we are basically letting all of the charities into FantasyCon without the thousands of people there. That's what we're doing. We're also unveiling the dragon that night. We're also having live concerts that night that will not happen during the rest of the time. So it's going to be really, really cool. The charity cosplayers are putting together fantastic shows that they're going to do that they're not normally going to be doing during the week. So that's going to be really cool. Plus, it's just, we're all going to be bawling like babies. So if you've never been volunteered for something like that with charity, it's gonna give you the boost that you need to get through the next 3 days that come after that. So I would recommend doing it. That's what I'm not gonna make you, but I would recommend it.
So it's
okay.
Salt Palace, right?
Salt Palace. Yep.
Oh.
It's exactly FantasyCon. Just preview. It's a preview for charities. Sneak peek. Sneak peek. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So if everybody didn't hear that, and we'll be sending out a lot of information for you guys for the charity event, but what she said is the kids that are coming that night are either like terminally ill, they have other illnesses, they have special needs, they have had traumatic instances in their lives. If anybody has a cold, like if I'm coughing like I am today, I don't get to go. Because if my cough makes one of these little kids sick and they die, that would be horrible. Okay? So just make sure that a lot of vitamin C, a lot of rest, a lot of water, and then if you have any sort of cold, not allergies, but any sort of cold, you, even if it's minor, cannot come, okay? But not today, on that Wednesday, okay? All right, so what we're gonna do is you guys each have a little, well, some of you have outlines and some of you don't, and I'm really sorry. It really just says kind of what I'm gonna talk about today, and I don't usually follow outlines, so whatevs. It also gives you some paper to write on. But what we would really like to go over today during orientation is basically just the background of FantasyCon. How FantasyCon came about. How many of you guys have seen the internet YouTube show that has how we all describe FantasyCon? It has Josh Patel, it has me. Raise your hands if you've seen that video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Alex put that video on the volunteer webpage. If you haven't seen it, we'll also send a link out to the email. I couldn't bring a TV with me today because I'm not that awesome, but basically FantasyCon, Josh put it together because he felt the need. There was a hole he felt he needed to fill in Utah and in the world with this convention. One of the biggest things, and I'm going to go through the top 3 reasons that you all need to know, like what is our goal basically with FantasyCon. Number 1, we want to highlight the art and the artists. How many of you guys read comic books growing up? How many of you guys read regular books growing up? How many of you guys grew up watching things like The Goonies and E.T. and the Last Unicorn? And that we're now having a Last Unicorn panel. I'm so excited. So when you guys read those books and you saw those movies, behind all of that was an artist. Either the writer that wrote the book, the artist that put together the comic book, the artist that created the paintings that now we have like video games, you know, made after. Well, Josh wanted to highlight the artists because very often a movie will come out and it's based on a book that was based on a painting that was based on a poem, and now it's like making millions of dollars at the box office and there's all these stars, but nobody knows about the artist. Okay, so he wanted originally to put together a fantasy museum. And then he realized that's not a good idea. Okay? So he traveled all around the world and went to a whole bunch of different conventions, and he thought maybe a convention is a good idea to highlight those artists, the artwork, bring them together, you know, build the biggest dragon in the world, and we can do that. Well, on top of that, let's highlight everything else, you know, and let's make it fun for everyone. So the first reason is the artist and the artwork. If FantasyCon is to be defined by one thing, it's the artist and the artwork that you're going to see, meet, get to interact with, and do great, fantastical things with. You guys don't even know the cool things that people get to do with the artists yet. We're so excited. Cosplay alone, the art that has gone into our cosplay section is crazy. It's crazy. So we're bringing it to the forefront. Our artist alley is not in the back room. It's right out front. Our cosplayers are not around the corner next to the bathroom. They're out front, okay? Because that's what we love as geeks and nerds and fans, right? Yeah? Okay. So artists and artwork. The second one, okay, is to be an affordable vacation. I have a really hard time with affordable. Affordable vacation for everyone, okay? Josh never got to go on vacations when he was a kid. He lived in a very rural area. He was on a farm. They didn't have a lot of money, and that he was okay with that. But then he realized when he grew up, like we all do, that we got bills and vacations are expensive. And as much as I love Disneyland, and I do, not everybody can go there. So he thought, if I put together this experience and we make it affordable for everyone and we make it fun, then people can experience those things without having to, you know, spend thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? So our ticket prices, like, we spent just months about our ticket prices and about where to put them and keep them and hold them. And kids 10 and under are free. Kids 11 to 15 are half off. And if you can drive yourself to the convention, then you're full price, unless you're military, you're a student, or you're an educator, okay? So if you're military or like first responder, you're an educator, because educators don't get paid much money, and they are the ones that introduce us to those stories that we love. Or if you're a student creating that artwork in school, then you get discounts. So that's awesome. Once you enter, bless you. Once you enter the convention hall, unless you're buying food, we don't have any control over that, unless you're buying merchandise, or unless you're buying a photo op or signature, you don't pay for anything else. You don't pay for panels, you don't pay for pictures with the dragon, you don't pay to go get you know, a story read to you in Fae Falls, you don't pay to meet a cosplayer, you know, you don't pay to go in the Relic Theater and see some of the best performers from Vegas come in and do that. You don't pay for it. You just come in and you play, okay? So affordability, okay? So first one, what's the first one? Artist and artwork. What's the second one? Affordability. Okay, the third one and the fourth one kind of work together, and that's creating an immersive experience, okay? We want to be as interactive as we can. We don't want people to walk in the door and they can't touch anything, and they can just look and they just kind of get shuffled through, okay? You know, how many of you guys go to like the Scrapbook Expo? Not that kind of crowd. That guy. How many of you guys go to like the gun shows? How many of you guys go to like the, what is it, like the outdoor expos and stuff like that? Gem Fair! I didn't know that existed. Yay! So those are like expos. So you're going in and you're kind of looking, and they've got all the free stuff on the tables, and you've got your plastic bag, and you put it all in there, and I go to all these things. I'm not knocking them at all. But you take all of your crap home, and then you keep it for at least a couple weeks because you want to feel bad that you took it off the table, and then you throw it away. That's an expo. In a convention, you go in and you try, and you go into all the vendors, and you're finding that one vendor that has that one Boba Fett thing that you can't find online, or maybe you can find them, you don't pay the shipping, and so you go find that, and then you buy it, and then you're like, I have my item, and then you go home. Okay, well, if you took all of those experiences away, you took the vendors away, you took the celebrities away, we would still have an event, because people would come and see the 30 masterwork artist paintings that we have been commissioning for over 5 years. You would come and see the dragon that's the biggest indoor dragon in the world, and look up in awe that's taken 2 years and 3 trucks to get into Utah. Okay? You would come and say hi to Rocky, who is our fully animated rock monster who stands 15 feet high and glows and growls and moves. Okay? We've got a 20-foot troll on the wall that talks to you, that can tell you that maybe you should be eating that leg from the other way. So we have all of these things. We have an arena that's going to have battles in it every 30 minutes on the hour, and then you can sign a waiver and then go beat the crap out of your best friend.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are like, I'm so doing that. Separate you guys over there. Okay, so without all of the regular things that a convention has, we are still an event. Okay? In Fae Falls, that's where I'm going to be when I'm freaking out. That's story time every hour on the hour. Okay, so we're not only going to have volunteers that are working that area can sit down and tell a story. We're also going to have jugglers that juggle and tell a story at the same time. We're going to have cosplayers that want to go over there and tell stories, and I think I'm scheduled to tell a story like on Friday sometime. So we have that, you know, we do have our panels. Our panels, over 250 hours of programming. Like we're trying to cut things, but we don't want to because we just don't have enough room for all of the fantastic things that are going on. Not to mention, we have the biggest grouping of Lord of the Rings and Hobbit cast to ever come together on a stage. Yeah. They're coming to FantasyCon. Thursday is going to be a crazy day. We need a lot of people to volunteer on Thursday because that is one of the biggest panels. They're going to be interactive. They're going to be pulling people up on stage to reenact movie scenes.
All right.
Okay, these guys don't want to just sit behind a table and sign stuff. They want to play. And I'm kind of telling them, well, I'm going to let you play to a point to where security doesn't flip out on me.
We're already flipped out on you.
I know, I'm sorry, but I want it to be fun. Our red party that's Thursday night, if you have a VIP ticket or a Thursday ticket or a 3-day ticket, you get into the red party. And nobody knows this yet, except for Sarah and one other person. But you guys know now, because I'm going to tell you, that if anybody wants to dress up that night, and you're all eligible, if you're not volunteering, you can dress up. If you dress up and you win the costume contest at the red party, I got a Tyrion Lannister statue that there's only 3,000 made in the whole entire world. And it's like this big, and it's worth $200, and we're giving it to the winner. You don't have to enter to win, you just gotta come to the party. You just gotta come. So, it's the little details that our team has worked on that makes it, it's not a convention. I don't know how to describe FantasyCon in like one word. And I've been asked over and over and over, especially by our documentary team, they're like, describe FantasyCon in one word. I'm like, I can't. It's not a convention. It's not an expo. It's not a festival. I don't, I don't know. FantasyCon is FantasyCon. It's an adventure, okay? And thank you for joining it. So FantasyCon is an adventure. To make sure that you have a good time and that our fans have a good time that are coming, I want you all to smile. Okay? Right now. No. So just to give you guys a teeny bit of background, some of you guys have heard this before. I used to work for a small company called the Walt Disney Corporation. Small. What do they do? And the coolest thing is probably the best job I have ever had in my life. It changed my life. It changed literally changed the course of my life. And the cool thing about working there is that when we would do events, and we did probably 300 events a year, and they're events, like real events, we would go out and we would make anybody who came to our event the star of the show. It wasn't about us, it was about them, okay? And when somebody decides to spend money and to come into this event over a holiday weekend, so not only are they giving us money, they're giving us their holiday weekend, it is our responsibility to make sure that they have a good time, okay? And the best way to do that, just right off the bat, is to smile at them. And there's gonna be a lot of times where you guys don't wanna smile because people aren't always nice, they're not always logical, and sometimes they're just freaked out, okay? But when you smile at them, they're gonna smile back. Because they're either gonna think you're crazy, or you're gonna make them happy for a minute, and then the problem kind of goes away, and then you can help them. Okay, so when somebody greets you, or when you greet them at the convention, you're gonna say, hello, my name is, and your name's gonna be on your credentials. My name is Valerie. How can I help you with your adventure? Right? And they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this panel schedule is ridiculous. I can't find this room. It was like down the hall and I don't even da-da-da-da-da. Oh, well, let's look at that. Which panel did you want to go to? Oh, you wanted to go to that one? Great. Well, you know what? Let me help you find it. And it looks like you really like this Harry Potter one, so did you know that there's another Harry Potter one at this time? Like, go the extra mile. And you might not know. What happens when you don't know how to help somebody? Find out, okay? 2 phrases that I do not like is I can't and I don't know. I make people run laps when they say I can't. Murphy only ran them for the first 2 years. He knows me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Murphy puts up with a lot, but he's a fantastic worker. So instead of I can't or I don't know, let me find out. That's a great question. Let's find out together. Hey, Oracle, or whatever. Can you help me? You guys will always, if we can do this right, be in groups of 2. Okay? So if you're wandering around and you get asked a question, you will be in groups of 2. Okay? So that there's always someone in the area that you're supposed to be in and somebody that can leave that area for a brief time and then come back to help people. Okay? When they're done and they've gotten everything and now they're smiling, maybe they're thinking you're crazy, but they're smiling. Great, enjoy your adventure! Okay. But they're still smiling. Okay, so it's like the little things. It's the little things that I'm asking you guys to do. And I think that it'll help you guys. There have been times where I've had really horrible things going on in my personal life. And I would show up and I would have to go stand in front of kids and families with a microphone, with a Disney thing behind me, knowing that I had to be on. And the minute I got out of my car, I knew that I would be on, to the minute that I got back in my car. And that's the same with you guys. So what I would do is make myself smile for like 30 seconds. Okay? And then I got out of the car and then I'd show up, and if I smiled, all these kids were like so excited to see me. And I'm like, what? Okay? These people are gonna be excited to see you because, one, they're gonna need help. You're gonna have a volunteer shirt on that are gonna be really cool, by the way. And if you have that good energy with you, then it will just go. Okay? There's gonna be times where you guys don't get along with each other, because it's gonna be really stressful. Okay? We're gonna go over today some ways to alleviate that stress and not take out the stress on a fellow volunteer. However, if a fellow volunteer keeps sabotaging the situation, find your team lead, give them specifics about what is going on, and let them handle it. You guys are never the bad guy. I, or your team leads, or security are always the bad guy. Okay?
That's why we don't smile.
Bob, you're a liar, Bob. I saw you at FanX and you were smiling, Bob.
Because I was away from people. I'm like grumpy cat.
So anyways, we're gonna go over some of those things. Before we kind of move into like actually learning things and not just me talking, do you guys have any general questions about all the stuff that I just said?
How big is your bag?
It's just like a regular drawstring bag.
I've got these flutes.
If you're performing over in the Faith Falls area and you have to carry your stuff with you, that's different. You're not in a panel room. You're not, out. That's what you have to have.
Because I have a big.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you put your big flute in your small bag, and that was weird. It's like that. It's like that bag.
Oh,
Right
okay.
there. It doesn't say Hogel Zoo on it. However, we love Hogel Zoo. So let me sneak behind my curtain really quick. Okay. There's people behind there. Okay. I want to go over the map that you're not going to. Oh, we have a question.
Yeah. Say I plan on giving one of the 3-day passes to a friend, but that friend works on Saturday and can't get off work because their coworkers are being butt munches. Can they use the 3-day pass for one day and then pass it on to somebody else?
Nope. Okay, so this is a really good question. Whoever has a 3-day pass, that 3-day pass is for them only. When they come in to check in with that 3-day pass, they will be given a wristband that needs to stay on for 3 days. They cannot pass that 3-day pass off to somebody else, or else that's just 3 one-day passes. Okay? The whole idea of the 3-day pass is that somebody gets in there for 3 days, they can't go Saturday, then they'll just enjoy Thursday, Friday. Okay? But really good question. You can also, if you win or have won a 1-day pass, you could actually go and take that 1-day pass and use the value of that 1-day pass and upgrade to a 3-day pass. So if you have come to any of the pre-events and I've given you a Thursday or Friday ticket and you've given it to somebody else, then you can pass that on to your friend and let them know they can upgrade, and it'll take 20 or 30 bucks off of their 3-day pass. Right now, we currently do not have a 3-day pass up to VIP upgrade. The reason why that is that we have so much value in our VIP pass that they have to be a certain price point, or then we are now paying you to come to the show. Have you guys seen the VIP bags? Have you guys seen that you get a VIP bag that's worth $40 if you're a VIP? You get a $20 dragon that goes in there, and we have commissioned an LA, I don't even know what, like prize guru that does things at Sundance and the Oscars and all these things to fill those VIP bags for celebrities and press and some other VIPs with other things. So that has to stay that price. We're trying to be as giving as we can, but at the same time, we do need to try and pay our employees and pay for this building and, you know, pay for the rock monster and the dragon. And you guys don't even know what's coming in 2015 that's being built and paid for right now. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, so what? Huh? No. Okay. Speaking of that, you all filled out a non-disclosure when you came in. If you have not seen an email or a Facebook post about the information that I'm giving you, that means that you cannot share it. And if you do, I will litigate you. Yes? Yes. Yep. So there is a document that's floating around that will get to everyone that we are having a bag filling party on Tuesday the 1st and 3 different times. And if you guys want to help fill bags, then you can sign up. I think Dan will get that information out to everybody if you haven't already received it. Okay. Ask your team leads before you leave if you haven't received that yet. So great. I don't have a big map, so you're going to have to close your eyes and imagine. Okay, so in the layout, and this will also be posted on the volunteer website, and if you want to see it, it's under the vendor section on our regular website. But we have exclamation point. So raise your hand if you are in charge of ticketing or information. Most of you will live in exclamation point. In exclamation point, that's where Smith Ticks will be on one side of exclamation point, and they will be handling all money transactions for new tickets. No volunteer needs to deal with money or people thinking that everything was too expensive. We're gonna let Smith Ticks do that over here, okay? Over on the other side of the room, and it's a room similar to this, so let's say that's Smith Ticks over there. Over here, that's where our volunteers are gonna be. That's VIP check-in, that's anybody that bought a VIP bag, okay? That is press check-in, that is will call, that is special guest and performer, and also volunteer check-in. Every day that you guys come to volunteer, you need to go to the volunteer check-in, okay? That lets us know who is on site, that you showed up to your shift, and that we have all the information for you that you need and that we need. If for any reason something horrible happened at the Salt Palace, I need a count of everybody that's in the building. We live in a day and an age that at wonderful, fantastic, kid-friendly, family-friendly events, horrible things happen, and we need to be prepared, okay? So check in. Excuse me. Also in that space is where you get your weapons checked. There are no real handguns allowed at the Salt Palace. There will be some security and police officers that are armed. No one else is allowed to carry, even if you have papers that say that you can carry. It is on our website, in our FAQ. There will be signs up that say this is a no-gun area. There are no real weapons allowed. Okay? So they have to get their weapons checked. when they get their weapons checked, they will get a sticker that goes on a weapon if it's a cosplayer, and they will have that sticker on there with them. They'll probably hide it so that they don't see it, and then if you ask, can I see your sticker? You won't ask, security will ask, then they'll show their sticker, and then they'll go back to doing whatever they're doing. That's also where we will have one information booth where all the kids and people that want to act like kids, which hopefully everybody, will get a really, really cool map that will help them with their adventure. So if people say, where do I get that cool map I've seen everybody have? Go back to exclamation point. That's where they are. Because on the map it's not like a regular layout of the place. It looks like a Tolkien map. Okay?
Oh, wow.
And it has little points on the map where all of the cool things are, like the dragon and all these things, and you're gonna go check into those places. If you're in Realms and you're standing next to the dragon and somebody says, can you check that I was here at the dragon? You're gonna check off that they were there at the dragon. When they've gotten everything checked off, they take the bottom part of the map off, they fill it out, they put it in an enter to win box, which is to be determined where that's gonna go. And then all throughout the day, we're gonna be pulling names out of this box, and we're gonna be calling people or texting them or Facebooking them or emailing them saying, you just won $20 to our merchandise. You just won a photo op. You just won this. Probably not photo ops, I'm sorry, I didn't throw that out there. I might buy one just to put in there because I like to bribe people with things. But so it'll be worth it, and the kids will love it. It'll give them something to do. But I keep seeing on all of our Facebook posts that adults want to become a dragon warrior, and they can. There's no age limit, okay? So if an adult wants to have the map, give them the map, okay? There will also be 2 other information booths that are located. One will be next to Fae Falls, which I'll tell you where that is in a minute, and then one will be up by the war room and the other photo op area. So if you go to the back, you know where the celebrity green room is with the big window. Have you guys worked other conventions before? Okay, never mind. Okay, so you had to get there to come here if you went through the convention hall. It's up on the 2nd floor, up the escalators. This is my up the escalators sign. There will be another one over there. So we'll have 3 total, and then a whole bunch of people just being helpful if people need information. So that's exclamation point and information. As we move through exclamation point into the vending hall, by the way, exclamation point are the only doors in. All of the other doors to the convention hall will be locked from the outside. You can exit them, but you cannot enter through them. That's the only entrance, okay? As you move through the doors, through exclamation point, you are going to be looking up at 2 3-story tall sentinels. If you have not seen the pictures on Facebook, they're amazing, and it's going to be a lot of pictures right there. You're going to move into the vending hall, and you're now at the Hall of Heroes. The Hall of Heroes is a huge portion of the beginning of the vending hall where we actually have all of the masterwork paintings that are gorgeous and ginormous are going to be in there in a huge castle. There's also going to be anything that has to do with superheroes and nerdy things, and Hercules, who is actually my brother. He's going to be dressed as Hercules. We'll hang out there from time to time when he's also not on the security team. You'll see him and you will be scared, but he will be hanging out there. There will be some other people, but they're vendors that kind of go along with the Hall of Heroes and hero things and that kind of stuff. So if people say, I don't think that superheroes belong at FantasyCon, well, they do, because superheroes are make-believe. I'm sorry if I just crushed your dreams. But they live in a fantasy fairy tale world. They live in New York, exactly. A fantasy fairy tale world. As you move through the Hall of Heroes, you're going to move into the battlegrounds. Okay? The battlegrounds is where our arena is. If you are in Realms, you will be placed in various places throughout here. In the battle arena, we have battles every hour on the hour. We have hundreds of Belagarth and LARPing communities and all that coming together and beating each other up. Right on the outside of the battle arena, we have our Dragon Training Academy. Okay? In the Dragon Training Academy, we actually have a fantastic group of swordsmen who have been trained in the ancient Italian art of sword fighting, who will be teaching people 5 really cool ways to be a dragon warrior. Dragon warriors do not kill dragons. We love dragons. We do not want to kill them, okay? It's more like how to train your dragon, okay? When you finish dragon training, you will get a certificate that says you now are an official dragon warrior, okay? That will also be where the dragon team, they will start at one end of the convention hall when they come out with all of our 4 Dracos. If you haven't seen them, they're cool. And then they will come to the dragon training area, and then they will meet and greet with families and kids and take pictures and have fun and that kind of thing. That all happens right there. On the lower area of dragon training, arena, battle area is where we have all of our cosplay, charity cosplay booths, which is really cool. So if you like Star Wars and if you like, who else is over there? I only care about Star Wars. I like all the other groups. I really only care about Star Wars. Muggles, they're important. No, they're all really great. That's where they will be, is over in that area. Above the arena on the top half there's like a food area, and there's also the photo op area, okay? So that's really important. That's all in that area. When you move out of that area, we are moving into the Kingdom of Ember Fire. And the Kingdom of Ember Fire are where the cosplayers live. And it's also where Jabba the Hutt lives.
Oh.
Jabba the Hutt is coming. We have one. We have one of our own.
How about
that's
Princess
also,
Leia?
What?
How about Princess
I'm
Leia
sure
in the
will be there.
bikini? Yeah.
Princess Leia. Yeah. Isn't she with the 501? No? I don't know. I'm new to cosplay. Rebel Base. Also in that area is Epic Puzzles and Games. It's one of the biggest tabletop gaming areas that has ever been at a convention. They are also creating life-size gaming pieces so that you can play some of your favorite games with life-size pieces, things. They're creating them right now. Then we're going to move over to the Relic Theater. The Relic Theater is where we have aerialists and ballet west and jugglers and musicians and magicians and anything else that you could think of that should go on a stage will be on that stage. As we're moving back into the convention hall where it comes around the corner, if you guys have been in the convention hall, it kind of goes around the corner, we have a giant castle. Okay? You cannot storm the castle. But you can pretend to storm the castle. It's really awesome. We're going to send people up there to do like announcements and things like that. You can take pictures. That will be a picture place. Between the castle and the cosplay area that I saw the backdrops and I'm just really excited about the cosplay area. There is a mine with a working mine cart. Okay, and there will be dwarfs. And we have one here. Where is Patrick? There you are. He's growing out his dwarf beard. I'm not being mean. He really is going to be a dwarf. So.
We have a battle axe, dwarves, and it's not the easiest thing to find a guy as short as me who can actually.
Who likes being short and dwarfy? Okay.
So if any of you know people who like men who are like flags 5 and under who would like to play dwarves?
Let Patrick know before you leave. Okay. So that's there. And then we hit Emberfire Peak. And Emberfire Peak is where the dragon lives. Okay? Yeah. It is going to be probably one of the most congested areas at the convention. There are 3 places to take pictures with the dragon. Does not cost to get your picture taken with the dragon. Okay? And also, right in front of the dragon, right after the mine, is Artist Alley. And that's where a whole bunch of artists are. When we move beyond Emberfire Peak and we go back into the back side of the convention hall, hold on one second, we move into Gargoyle Alley. Gargoyle Alley is where the dark arts live. It's where we have a whole section, pretty big, kind of like the whole half of this room, where we're gonna have fire breathers. And it's the only time a convention at the Salt Palace has been given the right to do fire in the Salt Palace. Okay. In that area, we will also have snakes and creatures and blacksmiths actually forging metal on site. Glass blowers actually making things right on site. So this is really important. When we start talking about safety today, and somebody actually says, there is an emergency, somebody is on fire, that's not funny. Because at this convention, it could happen. Okay? Because we are making things so cool, with all of the elements that we are putting into FantasyCon, for every element that is cool, there is 10 elements for emergencies. Okay? I just want you guys to know, like, it's awesome, but so many things could go wrong. Okay? But it's really cool because we have people making glass cool things on site and forging swords and metal and all of those things, which is really, really cool. At the back of Gargoyle Alley is another really cool place that's near to my heart, and that is the Trading Post. The Trading Post is an area that if you have a ticket into the convention, you can bring your wares, like your comic books and your pogs and your pins and whatever, and you can set up shop and you can trade with other people. You cannot sell, but you can trade. Okay? So that place is gonna be cool. You can just go look at people's weird crap too if you want. Like, people collect some weird stuff, but some of the stuff is really, really cool. So that's there. On the back wall, there's also food back there and some vendors. On the back wall is where our 20-foot troll is. There's a screen that comes down, and behind that screen is a person with a whole bunch of things all over their body, and they are working the troll. They also have a microphone, and they can see, and they can say, hey, you guy over there in the red shirt.
Oh, cool.
Buy your wife a prize, I don't know. Okay? And you can heckle them, and they will heckle back, and it will just be really fun. So that's on that wall. As we move around the corner and come back up next to Gargoyle Alley is Drifter Woods. And this is our last kind of area in the main hall. And Drifter Woods is where there is an archery range. So in the archery range, you can actually come and you can shoot arrows at targets, and they're not pointy arrows. They're flat, squishy arrows, but they're really fun. I think Murphy, you've been hit with one of the arrows. It doesn't hurt, right? The arrows are safe, right? You've been hit with them. They don't hurt, right? I get
My area where it hurts.
Poor Murphy.
Or it's just Murphy being weak, that's all.
So that's the convention hall, like a skip across of everything that's in there. You guys will get a copy of the map. On the 30th, we will be doing a walkthrough. Okay? That's why the 30th is also very, very important. Okay? Outside of the convention hall, in the big open area, okay, where you've got the salt shaker, you've got the main stage, there's a big main stage. There's queues to get into the main stage, and right next to that is where Rocky lives. So Rocky lives out in the main hall, so people can go out and get pictures. They can hear him growl, see his eyes, you know, do all those things. Oh, and by the way, our dragon's eyes glow and it shoots smoke. So, I think it's nitrous or something. What? Nice. Then we have the main stage. In the main stage is where all of our big panels will be happening. So if you're working with Eddie on the stage, then you will be helping out in the main stage area, and that will be one of the stages. The other one will be the Relic Theater. But in that room is going to be nonsense and chaos. Okay? People are going to have to wait in line. We're not evacuating the room after every panel. If you want to go Thursday and sit in that room all day, you can go Thursday and sit in that room all day. Okay? I hope people don't, but you can. Yeah, please, we don't encourage it, but we're not going to kick them out. On the other side of the main stage is another smaller area that fits about 500 people, and that is another panel room and our overflow room. So we have Simon Pegg or we have all of the cast of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit on that stage and it needs to overflow into the other area, that's where it will go. Just outside of that is Fae Falls.
Yeah.
So Fae Falls is in the little cove, and you guys can walk through here on your way out and kind of visualize it. Just don't go into any rooms because there's another event going on. But Fae Falls is in the area, if you're familiar. How many of you guys have been in the Salt Palace before today? Good, at least half of you. Fae Falls is in the alcove area where you can look up and there's a huge skylight and there's stairs that go up to the other salt shaker.
Cool.
That's where Fae Falls is. In Fae Falls, we have a really cool set from Ballet West that is Midsummer's Night's Dream is going to be in there. And that's where we're going to be doing story time and music and that kind of stuff. In the middle of that room is also a 12-foot water feature that is a dragon shooting water at a knight with a shield. So that's going to be an area we would need to make people not fall in there. We don't want them to fall in. We also don't want them to get in. We are creating hazards. That's my job. Okay? But it's awesome. That's also where the information booth is. That's also where our Lost Kid area is. We will go over Lost Kids in a little bit. Okay? So, and then we have a whole bunch of panel rooms that we'll go over. Upstairs is where we have Film Quest. Okay, Film Quest is what some conventions call the 700 room. That's where that is. That's upstairs. So a lot of things. So where you guys take breaks, and you can take a break wherever you want, but remember when you have your volunteer shirt on, I expect you to be a volunteer and to ask questions regardless if you have a big, huge drumstick in your hand or not. If somebody walks up and they're like, hey, you're a volunteer, and you're like, yep. Get your drumstick and go to the break area, okay? That is an exclamation point. An exclamation point, right where you check in on the back wall, there's gonna be a big draped area with tables and water and food.
Okay.
Okay? There are no food vouchers, okay? However, this is also not like 7-course meals. This is where you go and have a break, and there's food, and there's snacks, and there's big water jugs so that you can refill your water bottle that you're bringing, and you stick it in your backpack.
What kind of food are we talking here?
I don't have that information right now, but I will find out for you. If you have special needs, bring something. You guys are allowed to put stuff in your backpacks. Like, even though I've worked a ton of conventions and I know I'm gonna get a food ticket or I know there's a room somewhere with a sandwich in it, I always bring myself something anyways, because sometimes you think you're gonna take your break at this time and an emergency happens and it's an hour later and your blood sugar's down and you need to go to the corner really quick and like eat a granola bar. There are not drumsticks in the volunteer area. There is a lot of stuff that we have control over at the convention. Food is not one of them. Okay? You can go buy a drumstick and take it back to the volunteer area. But there will be sandwiches and breakfast things and all of that kind of stuff at different times. Your area that you guys go and have a break is the time that you can turn your smile off. And you can relax and you can quietly bicker about the crap that just happened. Do not bicker outside of that room about our guests or about fellow volunteers. I don't want to hear any bickering or see any bickering in front of our volunteers or guests. If there is an issue, there is a time and a place for it, and is not in front of our guests. How many of you guys have gone into a retail store and you can tell that this person does not like this person and they're going at it, not necessarily arguing, but it's not fun? Okay? I do not want that, and I won't tolerate it, okay? So if somebody's doing it to you, and I see it, I will stop it. If you're doing it to somebody else, I will see it and I will stop it.
Can we settle it in the arena?
No.
Maybe after.
After hours.
Maybe after
not
hours.
in your volunteer shirts. You guys are trouble makers.
Seriously.
Peanut gallery for hours, yes.
What?
What? Yes. As long as both parties are aware that that's what's happening. You can't just drag the other guy into the arena, sign a waiver, and start beating the crap out of him. I will find you. Okay? But to be real, when you're not volunteering, that's your time to have fun. So go somewhere, not in the middle of the hall. I have seen this happen. Like, my shift's done. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? Go change. Whatever. You keep your volunteer credentials on so that you can get into everything, but don't wear that shirt unless you're volunteering. Okay? Keep it clean. Don't forget it. Don't leave it somewhere. Don't sell it to somebody because it's the only one you have. Okay? Security is a little bit different because they work longer hours and they're big. So they get two. What? Well, I was just thinking what else on the map, but I think that's pretty good with the map. Nobody is allowed to go into the green room, so don't do it. I love you guys. Don't make me kick you out. Do not take pictures with celebrities while you're volunteering. And when you're not volunteering, you can take a picture with celebrity if you buy a celebrity photo op. I don't want to see this celebrity getting driven around like that and then you hurry up and you're like, and then you post it on Facebook because you're that smart about it. I will kick you out. I will kick you out. Okay? We are creating not only a safe place for you and a safe place for our guests, but a safe place for our celebrities. Okay? And we want to keep it that way. So there are rules for a reason, not because I'm mean, but because there are rules. Okay? All right. Chain of command. Oracle means answers. Answer. Okay? So all of the staff, all of my staff, most of them of which you saw up here, they are all oracles. And they will be in a blue oracle shirt. Okay? A lot of people, when they see conventions, they're like, tell us how it goes. Bottom, middle, top. I don't think that way. I think this way. There is nobody in this room that is less or more important than anybody else in this room. Murphy's pretty important. Because he gets stuff done, okay? And he makes me eat. And he tells me to go to the restroom because I forget. He does. Like, Valerie, did you eat? Valerie, did you go to the bathroom? He takes care of me. He takes care of me. Did you eat? I did. I have crackle and oat bran on the table back there that I've been. And I brought a cookie. So when I say that nobody's more or less important, I mean that. Okay? I'm not going to treat you like you're a scrub because you're not in a blue oracle shirt. Okay, if anything, you don't want to be in that shirt because I expect more from them than I do from you. I make them do way more. But so what we're going to have the most of is Legion. My Legion of volunteers are all going to be in green shirts. They're like a lime green colored shirt, and that's going to be huge. Okay, I want to see, I will be so, no thank you. Are you sure? Yeah. Well, time to go to the games. I want to make sure she eats. It's not, don't feed the animals. The Legion, I will be really, really happy when I get in there on Thursday morning and I go up to the green room to just look out to make sure like everything's good. And I look down and there's all these green shirts everywhere. That will make me feel so comfortable, like I have my blanket and I'm safe. So you will know by your team lead will let you know. Some of you guys are Legion. Some of you guys are Ronins. Ronins are in burnt orange shirts. It's the Ronin's job to make sure the Legion has everything they need to do their job. They have been trained, they have their schedule, they know where they're supposed to go. It's their job to make sure the Legion can do their job because the Legion is going to take over the convention halls, okay? The Legion will also have to make some tough calls, okay? If there's an issue and you've got 7 to 10 legions, and then you've got a Ronin, or sorry, the legion doesn't, the Ronin makes a tough call. So the Ronin sometimes has to be the bad guy or has to go get an oracle to be the bad guy if we have to, or to make, you know, a tough decision. So you've got legion, Ronin, oracle. Okay? Green, orange, blue. And the shirts, I mean, they're just t-shirts, but they say that you're a volunteer, and or they say you're a volunteer, and then they say what you are across the front, and then you've got FantasyCon logo on the back. And some of you guys came on after I ordered shirts, so I had to guesstimate what you would wear. Some of you might have to have a shirt that's just a teeny bit bigger, but I had to do the best that I could do. So it's really you guys get your team leads, your shirt sizes, so we can get you the closest size to your shirt as possible. Who has not turned in their shirt size yet to their team lead? Okay, that's not bad. All right, so that's that. We are gonna go, because I've had you sitting here for a really, really long time, and we're gonna go back to those 3 tables back there. So if everybody will leave your stuff with you, or I mean with your seat, and then go stand around one of those tables. If you thought that that was a competition between 4 tables and 4 puzzles to see which puzzle could get together first, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, but originally it was on a table, right?
Yeah. There, you beat
All right.
it.
That was not a competition. The only thing that I said was here are 4 puzzles, and groups like yours usually takes 20 minutes to get those puzzles together. I also said utilize your entire team like 6 times. I also said just because I placed the puzzles on the tables does not mean that that's the best place for them. It could have been. Okay? How many of you guys get thrown into a situation that you don't know is coming, and it doesn't fit the schedule that you were on, and it goes against the entire plan that you had? I hope more of you than that.
Yeah.
Okay? So, there are a lot of you, and there are only 4 puzzles. I usually do this in smaller groups. I could have gotten more puzzles and more tables, but guess what happens at conventions?
Tables get used.
More people in one place than you want at one time. With tasks that you may not have thought you had to do, you were not told ahead of time that you had to do that, and guess what you still have to do? You have to figure it out, and you have to make it work. Okay? Where are my helpers? Come on up. Come on up, helpers. Cagney, what were you asked to do?
I was told to take over.
How many people liked when Cagney came into their group and took over? Cagney, what were you told?
I was told by a few people to back off, that I wasn't doing it correctly.
Back off. You're not doing this correctly. What were you told to do?
To sabotage their efforts.
She was told to sabotage the efforts. Take puzzle pieces apart that have already been put together. How many people love it when you have a coworker that comes in and sabotages you? I don't love it. Okay, what were you asked to do?
I was also told to take charge, so.
Take over, take charge. How many of you guys are going along with your day, everything's going really great, and then there's that one person that thinks that they know better than everybody else, and their way is the best way, and regardless? How many people have worked with people like that? If you're not raising your hand, you might be that person. What were you asked to do?
I was told to sabotage as well.
Sabotage, okay?
So, yeah, I was taking pieces apart. I doing negative comments, and I think I have the ones they were missing.
Go put them back in the boxes.
I will.
Okay. All right. So the whole idea about this, okay, is that we're a team. How many of you guys are a little more shy and you kind of stood on the outside because all the go-getters ran directly to the table and started putting things together, and I saw these elbows like this because they had a plan? And then there's these really shy people on the outside that maybe have really good ideas as well. How many of you turned to another person and said, come in and help? How many of you guys got asked to help? Do you want to come help? Come in here and help. Okay? Every single person should have asked someone that was not helping to help in a nice way. Not, why aren't you working right now? Okay? Yes?
Some people on the outside are there because they don't care.
Yeah, how many of you guys thought this was stupid? You can raise your hand, I won't hate you. Okay? Sometimes you don't always like everything that you're asked to do, but it has a purpose. There is a reason that we're asking you to do it. You might get asked by Bob, he's gonna walk up to you, and you've been told that you're information, and you're gonna stand here all day, well, for 4 hours, and you're gonna help people get to information, and he comes up to you and he says, I have a code Adam, and I need you to walk 4 feet from me, don't ask any questions, and stand there and look north. And you're gonna be like, what way's north?
Don't ask any questions.
And he'll be like, that way, and you'll be like, okay, are you gonna be like, well, that just sounds stupid? In the time that he has to argue with you about what he just asked you to do, a kid is being taken out the back door and into a van and out of the state. So as much as that puzzle was stupid, it's not. Okay? We all have to work with each other. We have to work together. Okay? We cannot think our idea is the best idea. Yes, there are rules, and yes, there are standards, and yes, there are guidelines. But you guys are going to be put in situations where you have to make, in a split second, you have to make a decision. And somebody's going to come to you with an idea, and they're going to need your help, and you need to help them. If it doesn't follow with our guidelines, and if it's going to cause harm to someone, or it is not the right thing to do, you do not have to do it, and please let somebody know. Okay? But we all have to work together, and if somebody's standing over here because maybe they haven't been given all the information because we're not perfect and not everybody's going to have all the information. As much as we have all these trainings and we have manuals and we have videos, there's going to be somebody that doesn't know their job, and they're going to be standing there like this. As you guys are like scrambling to get lines to go around the corner because we have too many people in line for Simon Pegg and we've got to have the line go this way, and you're watching one guy tape the floor and you're going like this. Guy taping the floor, ask this person to help you tape the floor. Guy watching the guy tape the floor, is there anything I can help you with? Okay? So that is there. There's going to be conflict. You're going to be volunteering with people that you don't like. You're going to meet them, they're going to rub you the wrong way.